Hello, and thank you for joining us. Come, step into the light. Hey there, good to see you all again. Today I want to show you guys some things I've learned while playing Pal World. First and foremost, some advice. When you go to create your world, give me a second here. We're going to name this one video. Now, this is all perfectly fine, exactly the way it is. Nothing wrong with it. Not saying there is. You can choose multiplayer, non-multiplayer, that sort of thing, but custom settings, right? This is one of the ones I never messed with. I might at most. I think while playing with my wife and daughter, I turned it up. But aside from that, I don't. I also don't turn up the capture rate. That's on my other game. I do turn down hunger depletion rate because it makes it easier. And for pals, I don't turn down stamina. But for players, I do. Now, some other things that I change is I turn the deterioration rate down to 0 so I can just build stuff out in the world without having to worry about that degradation. Now, another one that I couldn't recommend enough to max, especially if you're going to play alone, is these two. Do not max this. This is a silly one to max. See, if you max this, that increases the interval. As I understand it, this increases the interval between the respawns of items. So if you fully mine a boulder and it disappears, the amount of time it'll take will increase as this meter increases. So I drop it low. For Jesus, of course. And then I take the drop items multiplier. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like to sit there and go in again and again and again and have to wait a bunch. When I start to farm breeding, or sorry, when I start to massively breed, I will do this. I don't disable raid events just because it it has so many advantages. I wish that you could decrease or increase the difficulty. They should have, say, a sort of a bar, right? So that you can determine how difficult you want it. But that's one of those QOL changes, not really a necessary change, I'd say. Um, I do like to do this just because it makes getting to your body that much easier and is only an advantage insofar as you keep your armor on and your shield on. Aside from that, keeping your weapon on with, like, say, one magazine, or even sometimes one magazine, sometimes nothing at all. It's kind of random for me, at least. It's useful, but in my opinion, you should be like balls to the wall, hidden back for your body. All right. So last one is max pals working at base. I max this out. Okay. Let's make sure I got everything. Looks like I did. Oh, actually I didn't. I turned these both down. They're both useful. Now, I have been told that you want day's time to be a slight bit slower than nighttime. I disagree. Now, the reason being, there are just as many pals at night that I want, especially early on, as there's during the day. Okay. All of that being said, we move on. Alright, let's change this name here. Shorten it a little. Since I'm not playing with other people, I don't have the rest of that on there. We got presets. I'm feeling a little lazy today. Change the skin. And the reason being is this is thematic. What I wish I could do is color the tips, because I would color the tips gold. But, no big deal. Now, that being said, let's go to face. We're going to leave the eye color, and we're going to go gold. and then click this. I want to make this bright. So we're gonna have yellow eyes, really bright yellow eyes. The preview for this doesn't really show up, and you can do this with all of these if you want to. But the preview doesn't show up very well. And again, it would be really useful, I think. Not really useful, more like cool to be able to color the tips, of the hair. But like again, pedantistry. All right. See, yellow eyes, and it really pops and contrasts with the really, really, really black, ashy skin color. I can't wait so we can go to that damn tree. Whew, let me tell you. Okay, we start facing this way, right? Ignoring all the goodies over here. Yeah, but what goodies are there, Mr. Light? Well, oh, interesting. Oh, now we got food. Right. So, I'm playing on PC. To run, you hold shift, in your direction. To roll like I just did would be control. I have a mouse that has buttons on the side, so I mapped it to number 5. That makes it easier. Now, something cool. I'm backing up. Woo, backflip. Now, and this is all again with the control button, or for me, the number 5. So we go backwards into the side, backwards to the side, or just straight to the side, I guess. And then, yep, forward, oh, and forward. So they have a pretty open system as far as that goes. Oh, right, no glider. So early on in my game, on my own, or rather with my family and on my own, I disregarded the importance of a PAL glider. I don't know, something about having a PAL as a glider just seems different. Not positive? That's probably it. Just something's off about it. Something just didn't feel right, right? Ooh, arrows. Good. Gold, useless in my opinion. Alright. In a way, you could argue that Power World kind of rewards those who goes against the grain. Oh man, I'm so glad I increased the amount. So yeah, we can make a workbench and all of these. Cool. Now there's an addition, or something you could do, I guess, that they did not allow us to do at the beginning of the game when we started, or not beginning, but upon release when we started. And it's a fairly important one, I think. Let me get some rock here. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't plan on doing that to that degree. Oh, much better. Whew. And we get the Paldium fragment. Yeah, I just better use my fist on this one. Okay. Now it's urging me to build a PAL box. And I realize you're going to want to do that, and I don't blame you. So just bear with me. Because I'm going to show you something that they added in here that, to be honest, does provide a little bit of irritation to me. Okay. It's a feature that I think they should have had in the beginning of the game. I guess irritation isn't the right word, but I am pretty happy they added it, I guess, because timing aside, it's useful nonetheless. And you don't have to build as many foundations. I'm doing it just so I can reduce my weight and get that beautiful level up. Also, because every base I put, I like to fill them up with foundations. These foundations are useful. I think that's good enough for now. Oh, right. So I clicked here with left click, and then if you right click, notice how we're not exiting the screen? Okay. But on this one, I'm going to left click. Now we've exited the build menu. We have to go back in to build. Now, something they added fairly recently is the ability to put the PAL box on foundation. Some people would probably be like, well, that's not significant, right? Actually, it is. Here's why. If you can put a PAL box on here, you're not restricted by the terrain anymore, which is kind of what was going on. And that also means you can determine precisely where you want your radius. Also, it's a giant cube, so keep that in mind. Also keep in mind, your pals will be teleporting in and off of this thing. If you really wanted to, you could build a large tower, going up there, and go from there. I don't recommend it, just because it's time. But I will tell you, the ultimate goal for the pals when they invade your base is for them to destroy your pal box. Do with what you will that information. Now that we're over here, we don't have to worry about that boss that spawns on the other side. But granted, we don't have this. However, we do have that. And if we go down here, no bosses spawn, and there's a dungeon right there. And for those of you who are saying dungeons are worse than bosses, I agree with you. However, um, I mean, I don't know if you saw that, but I just picked up a Megasphere. Having that this early on in the game is game-changing for sure. Now, something to note here is this little bit here. We have to climb to get up here. So this is one side of invulnerability for our construction. Which means if we really wanted to, I might just do it, we can move our base to be more centric towards, or rather eastward, rather than being where it's at, just because this circle is the build limit, and that's quite a build limit. Actually, kind of seems bigger than what it usually is. Regardless, actually running down here, since not being, I don't know, running down here for a specific thing. Before we do that though, so this kind of gives me a little bit of arc vibes, right? Probably you too. With those arc vibes, it's kind of nice. Okay, so part I was excited about, the dungeon. I need Paldium, but I'm not going to take that Paldium. So we're going to go in here. I know it says it's level 13. We have nobody with us. That's fine. We'll be okay. This isn't the Jesus take the wheel moment it feels like. Because most things in here are actually pretty passive, with the exception of the stupid soldiers. Ah, we've attracted them. Oh, it's this format. Okay. The reason we're going in here is because usually they have large deposits of Paldium. And the thugs don't really follow you too often. So just run, and they'll usually just kind of leave you. That's going to be the way to the boss. I can already tell you, because that side right there forks over to water, and that forks over to land. The forks to water, it leads always to the boss. So, heads up. Yeah, I don't really feel like dealing with those guys yet. We'll go try our luck. Now, this is most likely going to have them in here too, but there's going to be a secondary room in here that is going to allow us to, oh sweet, secondary room in here that's going to probably have Paldium right off the bat. Oh man, what luck. I called it. Okay. Now the reason we need Paldium in a large amount is because I want to make a large amount of balls, which is going to take a large amount of Paldium. I didn't know you got ore out of this. There we go. Shrunk a little. So with the settings that I have, the little tiny Paldium deposits that were outside the dungeon are only going to get you about 15, 12 to 15. I forget which one it is. I don't have to. On my other one, I haven't had to mine this in a while. And our weapon is broke. I forgot about that too. That's okay. We have 107 Paldium. That's a good start. We're going to at least be able to make 50 balls. Now, we're going to have to go mine some more stuff, of course. But for starting, it's decent. Oh, okay. I mean, when in Rome, right? More arrows. I really won't complain about that. Just in case. So, I believe we came this way, but I believe it's starting to fade a little bit. Never mind. Seems accurate. Oh no, they're chasing after us. What will we ever do? That's sulfur. Super useful later. Later, though. Hmm. I don't think we don't think we can through here, Captain. Yeah, because that would have been nice. Maybe it was there and I didn't see it, but yeah, this wasn't original. Okay. So my original gut feeling is right. No matter how you have to see it, I just don't do it. The I'm referring to is going to be dead. No, snap. So I believe we came out of there to the left. That is incorrect. I believe we took the right. Yep. Ah, yes. Remember I said there were going to be people in here? On the end? Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, this is one of those things. So there's a strange anomaly whenever you're doing dungeons. Or maybe I just did terrible directions. But this is going to lead us the proper way. Now. Oh, no, we're just in here. Interesting. So I did mess up. I know we're in here because that positive LPM was a medium size. Means we find it a little. Yeah, that's positive. Oh, man. No. I know that was a daydream. Totally could have caught it. The first thing I'm going to catch is a cat. Second thing I'm going to catch after I unlock the ranch is the chicken. I'm going to build stairs down there. Actually, no, not. Show you a little trick. These work a million times better than stairs. Okay. Notice we can go 2 out with this. For now. They work better than the stairs. We got the error not connected to structure. which is a pile of horse manure, but whatever. So, just a little tip. These work a lot better than stairs. Okay, we need chest and we need spears. Probably I'm gonna need a bed. Might be a little early for class, but we should be okay. Plan out my points. 3-shot bows until 10. Here, daydream. Wait, how crafting? Here, 6. So yeah, we're gonna have a ranch here at 5. Okay. Oh, 3 spin of nothing. Oh shoot, that's gonna be 100 pal spheres. Should be great. Not enough materials. Okay. We're gonna take our broken pickaxe. Get one more stone. Even though we're probably gonna have to do it here in a minute again, anyways. So the cat will build these things will automate itself. I think the sheep may help us out. I don't know. A lot of the farming is kind of useless, especially in the farm. The chicken is good for combat. Early on, it's got this dash it naturally learns. Beyond that, it's not really that good. I think we're gonna keep soon, and we can prepare our axe. The benefit to figure out what it's costing is as far as why it's build, either just make it a stone pickaxe. I'm going to for purpose of finding later on. 30 stone real quick. And then get 30. That's right. Thanks. Yeah, we'll go. So, little information on building stuff outside of your thing, your ring, uh, territory of your pal base. Uh, things degrade if it's not inside that circle. And unless you change the settings like we did, in which case they won't. It is really useful to change it where it doesn't degrade when you're in single player, but multiplayer, unless you're playing with people you know or like, it's dumb people do dumb things for dumb reasons. Best thing I can say. Now, there is now there is a setting. You can see where it says work, the F button. You can set that to where you just tap the button and it will sit there and do the work for you. I leave it on holds just because I might not necessarily want to do it. Okay, there's a cat. You'll help with building and mine. Well, that was actually no. I think these guys help with um, logging. Okay, we're gonna catch a couple of these. Before we get anything else, let's find us a cat. Because right now, where we're gonna struggle is mining. Now, you refresh the system on the team as far as like respawn rate or radius or as far as the respawns of the creatures is interesting. It's done by how far you can see. So as you look around, there's a radius, right, of view. We can hear a cat. So as we look around, there's a radius in which we can see. Well, that radius is really important because they don't they spawn just slightly out of your radius, respawn just slightly out of your radius. So if you go out of your radius and then back in again, you essentially recycle assets. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here, no, just, well, heck. Okay, so I don't know why they did this. From the looks of it, this is technically a sub-field boss, but it's not even that. See, the little thing after the name indicates it's a boss of sort, but what I think they meant that to indicate is that that thing will one-shot you, which isn't far from the truth. I'm gonna use the W to our advantage, because I'm not gonna sit here and mess with this one. I'm gonna have to keep taking it. We'll start again. I was so bad for doing that. Oh, really? Okay, I'm catching these super easy. It didn't need to beat it up so bad. There's a cat. Luck is on our side. Kativa. Anyways, the first 10 you catch give you bonus XP. So, with that being said, it benefits you to catch multiple in a couple of ways. Later on, you can combine them. Shit. Ah. Well, I guess. Hey, buddy. Trying to take it out. Alright, weird. Logging for it? Cool. So, a couple things Kativa do for you that's really useful early on. They increase your max capacity. It's not by much, it's by 25. But still, some is better than none. They're good at mining, they transport what they mine, and they help you build stuff. This one in particular is crappy at combat. That's okay. So, when you can combine uh, pals later on, I don't recommend doing this one. The weight doesn't go up by enough to be significant, and by the time you can combine things, um, you'll already have Powerbox. Assign you here. Oh, wait, we didn't assign. Put it assign you here. That dude's enough of mining. I respect that he's stressed. Now, he does focus mostly on that. However, he does. Stop whatever he's doing. I'm gonna go. Hopefully, when he keeps over and grabs stuff he's mining, pull it in here. There's a level face that you can have them. Clearly, I don't have them. Oh, I guess I should have faith in him. They have random sticks off the ground. That's something I would think. Alright. Powerbox is very available. He builds his bed. Now we have two pals in here. And pretty soon, if he builds that bed, we're gonna build a third, so. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong bed. Well, insufficient material, that's okay, we'll fix that. Now, the bed's a little more picky. It's kind of really silly. But it needs a roof. It will tell you as much if you gotta build it, I'll show you. I would build too high, minimum. It'll help you later. Kind of a bit of future proofing. There we go. There it is. So we're gonna have a berry plantation. This is where we're gonna go to the other side. Okay, where's that tree back? Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. I'll need 20 something. Should I swap them out? And I mean, sword guy is the fastest there is, but better than nothing. Okay, let's get some more speed so we can continue with this adventure. You forget it being not that bad? That's okay. Hey, mine format is gonna help with fine. Whew, logging format. And we're getting food over that too. So, alright. Oh, look, we got a logging format already. Oh, right. Yeah, we'll find that later. I realize it's a little late on in the game to be like, hey, disclaimer time, but if there is anything that I've said that you know for a fact is wrong, let me know. I'm more than happy to learn and correct myself. And my job here is to make sure I do the best and most accurate information I can. So, this about here, right? I guess they changed it. Okay, well, so if I mentioned potential being wrong, all of a sudden, bam, I'm wrong. Oh, okay, 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 next level. We'll be able to build that thing I was talking about in the other video. Now, something else. If I remember right, it is either this set or it's this set. Might be that one. Either way, one of them gives you a storage box that's significantly better. Yeah, it's yellow. Gives you a storage box that's significantly better. And under decorations, it's gonna be right here. Remember right? I could be wrong. Pretty sure I'm right. Okay. Need more stone, which needs to hold up. Boy, was that complicated. Okay, so another reason I like to build ridiculous amount of foundations. It is easier for them, for the pals to come and retrieve the stuff if we're all on equal footing and we're level. Now, pretty clear to me I'm gonna have to rebuild this place though. Already some problems. All bases though, for starting out are just kind of temporary pains in the butt. Okay, this guy helps with harvesting. This guy helps with making. So, see, diet lover. Doesn't need to eat that often. It's useful. Or need eggs, so. Okay, fire, campfire. And a new mixed campfire. And a food box, because I'm sure dude's good. Easy chicken. So, one of the things you can do later on is get these rabbits. I forgot what they're called, but they improve your crafting speed if you're at a bench, at a weapons bench. I have yet to use them. It's got like a bunch of food. I wish that they would take the rabbit and make it useful for just crafting in general. I think the excuse they have is that um, you have other things that do the same thing. Maybe too many abilities overlapping, which is a good excuse, I will say. Well, reasoning excuse, I guess. Still. Okay. Place rather centric, easy to take for them to get their food at. Seems reasonable enough. Start with that. Policy with this. And they automatically would take that and put it in here. And when dude decides to make wool, that'll be available too. Okay, almost time. Oh, wow, I'm able to bend your ear here. Um, Something you can't do is roll after you've jumped. You can jump and then roll. Sorry, you can jump and then after you land, you can. Still weirds me out. That's so high. After we get the chillet, this is going to be something I'm going to try and capture. These dino sounds are really great for planting such. I have already sleep. A big boss guy is just kind of wandering your base right down here. Totally gonna take this guy's closing. Take him. Probably wondering why I didn't bring out my pal. Oh man, I'll use the beam. I have to save that. Oh, okay. The one's looking for is like Dumas. Oh, that's annoying. Yep, I'm not abusive. Your turn. Alright, all that being done, turn away from here. Okay, and reduce how much of that I lose. Up there is the daydreaming one. Oh, he's here, here then maybe? Alright, there they are. So, little tip here. While they may not be the level at which you caught them, so let's say you catch a level 10 and you're only level 5, right? They may not be able to fully fight at that level, but that's okay because they still have the health for if they were like that level. So like they would have a level 10's health, level health rather than what they do have. So it is both a good thing and a bad thing that the outfit's just all done at once, not individually. I would much prefer it to be on an individual basis rather than all at once. But you get what you can, right? Might also be that. Yep, it is the barrel one. That's good to know. Now the reason why I'm okay with spending these extra ones, ooh, we got it too late. Darn. The reason why I'm okay with spending these extra ones is because we can go in a dungeon really close by and get more really easy. Oh, yes, increases it by 50. That's good. Oh, this is probably faster. Really? Hmm. Oh, but not by much. Well, it's slowing down. Let's take a look. Huh? Good thing he's in my team.
Ja, wat moest nu het? Maar, you know, je begint net. Well,